Hello, friends. Welcome back to Paint to Passion Live. We are here on a Tuesday without a guest. Honestly, it's a little bit scary for me to do a little bit longer of a solo episode, but I have heard back from many of you that you like to hear a little bit of my story and kind of what's going on with me on the Friday episodes. So I decided to do that for a Tuesday episode, which I would usually be having a guest. So here I am. It's just me, but I hope that today I'm able to convey my heart and convey something that will encourage you and something that you can relate to. We're here in the holiday season, and I think we hear every year like the holidays can come with mixed emotions, which I have experienced at some level, especially in my adult life, mixed emotions surrounding the holidays. But for the most part, I have loved the holidays. I have loved Christmas. I love snow. I love cookies. I love lights and I love music and I love all the things that you tend to think about when you think about the holidays. Oh, and I love presents. Let's not get it mixed up. I totally love presents. I'm like a child when it comes to gifts. But all of that aside, I wanted to share a little bit of a story of how this holiday season has been going for me because I think that there are people out there who can relate. This holiday season for me has been marked by an emotion that I did not want to feel during the holidays, but which I believe many people feel during the holidays, and that is grief. My past few weeks from before Thanksgiving up until this point have been marked by grief. I'm just showing up here and I'm being really honest. I tend to be a person who is able to pull herself out of a pit and be optimistic and I want to show up as joy. I want to show up as a light. I want to show up as a safe space. But all of that comes also combined with grief, right? And grief is a part of life that I really believe we need to talk about more. And I myself, I am a childhood complex trauma survivor. And what that means for those of you who don't know is basically my childhood was very confusing. I grew up in a space where I could never fully feel safe. I didn't know what to expect from the adults who were raising me. There was a lot more responsibility on my shoulders than there should have been. There were expectations that in order to be safe, I had to be perfect. I've mentioned these things in previous episodes. But of course, growing up, there are holidays, right? And as a child, holidays are very important and they're also very informative to your perception of love, your perception of fun, your perception of joy, all of these things. And so I had been experiencing some grief waves off and on, and I wasn't thinking too much about why and all of these things until Thanksgiving. And on Thanksgiving, I was here with my family, with my kids, my husband, my dog, my hamster. Yes, my hamster. And I woke up that morning, first of all, just like feeling like my whole body was inflamed, like really puffy. My head hurt. I was exhausted and I was weepy. I was so like just hurting on the inside. And I felt badly about it because I wanted to show up for my kids with like happy Thanksgiving, like, yay, let's have fun. Let's have cinnamon rolls, watch a Christmas movie. Um, all the things that I had in my mind for what I wanted Thanksgiving to look like. And I couldn't. I grabbed my coffee and I just looked at my husband with tears streaming down my face. I'm like, I am not okay. I don't know if I want to go to our friend's house for dinner tonight. Like my heart is breaking and I'm tired and I don't really understand why. Now there are some things in the present season that play into this, but as I have kind of sorted through these feelings, I realized that I was grieving Thanksgiving and grieving what holiday meant to me as a child. And without parsing apart every single little thing, I will say that Thanksgiving for me as a kid, it was hard. It was really hard. And all the years growing up, I told myself that Thanksgiving was wonderful because we had these traditions, right? We would wake up in the morning. My dad would be making cinnamon rolls. We would watch the parade. It was like, it felt happy and joyful. But there was a sense of dread on the inside of me because I knew once the parade was over, even as a young child, I was expected to help with prepping food, to spotlessly clean our house. Like we're talking toothbrush on baseboards clean, and then get ready to host my extended family at our house, my house, year after year after year. And this was a very, very dysfunctional family. And my cousins were all younger than me, and we were basically expected, even I can remember even at like age 9 being expected to basically entertain these kids for hours. And it was heavy. It was heavy and it was hard, and I had no choice but to put a smile on my face and to say it was okay, because pushing back was not an option. Not being happy about the peeling a ton of potatoes and cleaning the toilets and then entertaining really difficult children when I myself was a child, I couldn't express that that was hard. I wasn't allowed. It wasn't allowed for me to say, no, I don't want to do that. I wasn't allowed to complain. I had to pretend that everything was okay, and not only okay, but that I was like going to be a total boss at it. I wasn't going to whine about doing any of the things because that would be dangerous. I would have to be joyful, happy, and yes, I'll do that. No problem. Like the expectation was there, and I had to take on the expectation with zero complaint, because any kind of complaint or pushback would be met with danger for me as a child. And so that is what Thanksgiving meant to me for most of my upbringing, most of my life. And so this Thanksgiving, on that day, I was just distraught and in my body, like my body could feel it and I couldn't stop crying. And I have been depressed. I have been depressed in the past, like deeply depressed, borderline suicidal, all of the things. And that's another story for another time as well. I have been there, and this was different. This was more feeling intensely grief. And now I know it's feeling intensely grief that I have numbed from for most of my life out of necessity. I don't know about any of you guys, but I am a master dissociator. If you don't know what dissociation is, basically what it means is your brain is kind of up in the clouds, your thoughts are kind of up in the sky somewhere, and your body's like down on the ground. And you're so separated from the present moment and from your body. And this became my survival tactic at a very, very young age. Was I was able to separate my mind and my body. That was the way that I survived. And it comes on a spectrum. Dissociation can be as much as like, you're driving home from work and you're tired and you can't even remember how you got home because you've driven that way so many times that it's like second nature, and you got kind of lost in thought on the way home, and suddenly you're pulling into your driveway and you're like, I don't even remember like driving here. I'm sure we've all been there. All the way to dissociative identity disorder, which is by no means something that I'm an expert in, but it's basically you can forget who you are, who you really are. So somewhere in the middle there is where I've landed most of my life, out of the need to survive. So very dissociative. And it's in this last year, especially, even though I have been focusing on healing and trauma recovery and trauma informed practices for several years now, it's this year specifically that I have become much more embodied into my own life, into my own experience. So, for the very first time in my life, I started to feel the heaviness and the grief of a childhood that was not as it should be. And that's a big, big grief. And it really consumed my body. And inflammation is very common for trauma survivors, for complex PTSD survivors like me, which is why so many of us have chronic pain. We have chronic illnesses, we have autoimmune diseases, these kinds of things, because inflammation is also a physical way that your body tries to protect itself, even from mental and emotional triggers. So I just felt awful that day. And I started to dissect that with myself, with my therapist, with my husband. And as the weeks have gone by, the grief honestly has not let up significantly. And I have found myself in tears so many times, because once you open one grief door, a lot of the other grief doors open. And you may be able to relate to that, especially here at the holidays, because the holidays present an opportunity for a lot of grief to come up, whether it's loss of a loved one, or grieving your childhood like I have, or feeling lonely and isolated. There are so many different reasons why the holidays may be a grief inducing season for you. So for me, all of these little doors have popped up. I'm actually looking at my daughter's advent calendar right now as we speak, and there's all these little windows open, right? It's today, I'm recording on December 15th, and there's all these little windows open. And it's just like, in my mind, it's like the perfect picture of you open one grief window and then the next one opens and the next one opens. And you're kind of met with this situation where you are seeing that you're thawing out for the first time. My friend Tanya, who I mentioned in the last podcast episode, but she said to me yesterday, it's like frostbite. It's like recovering from frostbite. When the feeling starts to come back into those limbs that have been affected, it hurts really, really badly, but it means that you're healing. And that's really what I wanted to get to right now. And I created a reel about it this week, and it just hit me like, we need to know that grieving is part of your healing. I need that comfort to know that grieving is part of my healing. And so over these past weeks, I've started to have all these little like advent calendar windows open up in my life. I have grieved that I don't have a relationship with my parents right now. It ended up being just not a safe situation for me mentally, emotionally. I had to make choices for my family, and it breaks my heart, because it's not what it's supposed to be. It breaks my heart for me. It breaks my heart for my kids. I'm sad that I haven't had the support system in my family that I've needed to show up for me and my family through a lot of the really, really hard things that we've experienced. I've grieved what has happened through our adoption experience. I'm so grateful for my beautiful, amazing son, and he's doing so well, but we've had to give up so much of just what we thought family would look like in order to keep my kids safe, in order to keep ourselves safe, in order to show up for him in a way that is safe for his system. It's been so isolating, because there are a lot of people who will judge you and do not understand that if a child's attachment is disrupted in infancy, they're going to have struggles that manifest as, behaviors that are stigmatized in these specific ways. And we have received a lot of backlash. We've received a lot of people who said they wanted to be supportive, but really they've said things that are like, this is your fault. It's because of you that he is the way that he is. And just like the grief of being isolated in these adoptive scenarios, I know a lot of adoptive parents have felt that way, where they have felt their children have been stigmatized, that they have parents have been they as parents have been stigmatized. And my heart broke. My heart has been breaking over this. Even though things are getting better for our family, like really, I have so much hope, but the last 8 years of parenting have been marked by hardship and grief. And a lot of it I dissociated from so that I could simply get from day to day. And now I'm thawing out. I'm just grieving. I'm grieving friendships that have been lost. I'm grieving leaving Texas, where I made real, beautiful, true adult friendships for the first time in my life. There's just a lot of grief. And I have cried so much. I have grieved that I've had chronic pain for 25 years. And it's something that I have done the suck it up, Gabi, show up with a brave face, even having that like voice coming at me, which comes from my childhood trauma of it's your fault, it's because you're doing something wrong, it's your fault. I have pushed aside the fact that being in pain for that many years is extremely sad. And I'm feeling all these things right now. And I don't want this to become a sob story about Gabi. I want to open up my heart and my hands to you and just tell you, if you're grieving right now, first of all, I am so sorry. And if I could just hold your face and look in your eyes, I would say, friend, I am so sorry for everything that you've endured. I'm so sorry that you are in pain. And I want you to know that I see you, I believe you, I hear you. And if you need someone to just sit with you and cry with you or hand you a tissue, like, I want to be that girl. That's the first thing that I would want to say to you. Secondly, what I want to say to you is congratulations. Congratulations that you are feeling the grief, because I will say this, and it's something that has encouraged me so greatly. In fact, yesterday, as I was explaining some of my grief to my therapist, she was celebrating. She was celebrating, and I want to celebrate with you, because if you are truly grieving, not numbing, not dissociating, and if you're doing those things, I understand that too. There's so much compassion. But if you are truly grieving and hurting and crying, and everything just feels raw and hard right now, congratulations. My friend, you are feeling. You are feeling. If you are grieving, you are feeling. And guess what? If you are feeling, you are healing. And if you are healing, baby girl, you are becoming the most whole, authentic version of yourself. And isn't that what we want in this life? To truly know ourselves, to truly clean out the wounds, to feel the pain, to allow the infection in our souls to be washed out, to be witnessed in our grief, in our tears, and to become this authentic version of ourselves. I am telling you right now, I can see inauthenticity from a mile away. It is a gift that complex trauma survivors have. And I know there have been plenty of times in my life where I have been inauthentic. So while I am really not enjoying this season of grief, I am very grateful, because it's showing me, I'm showing myself, I'm showing up for myself in a way that says, you know what, your story is true. All of these things that you have gone through are real. They have genuinely hurt. You are worthy of the tears, and you are worthy to feel and to heal. And I want to say the same thing to you, and never, ever, ever, especially if you are in God, my friends, which I will never stop talking about because, as I've mentioned a million times before, God is the one who has been here with me and for me all along. No matter how much I shake my fist at the skies, no matter how often I am angry with him, he has shown up. And one of the most beautiful things in the world is that when I go through a painful experience and when I grieve, I am able to then move through it and show up to comfort other people who are going through what I have been through. And it's all right here in 2 Corinthians chapter 1. I have to read it to you because it's so beautiful. Starting with verse 3. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our affliction, so that we may be able to comfort those who are in any affliction with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God. I'm telling you, this is what I want my entire life to be about, because I've been through too much, and so have you. But what I have ached for and what I've longed for most of my life is a safe space for someone to tell me it's okay that you feel the way that you feel, and I believe your story. And that's what I want to be for you, my friends, to comfort you and tell you it's not over. Your story is not finished yet. This is not the end. You matter. Your heart matters. Your story matters. I believe you. I want to enfold you in an embrace in any way that I can and comfort you, because the comfort that I have experienced, especially from God, has been beyond compare. And what I have learned through every tragedy, through every loss, is something that I want to pass on to you, because I believe that you were created on purpose for a purpose, and part of that purpose is that you would have joy and you would have life to the full, and that you would find who you are authentically, that you're worthy of love, and you have a reason to be alive. And part of that reason is because there are people out there who just want to love you. And there are people out there who need to hear your story and be comforted with the comfort that you have been comforted with. So embrace your grief season. I know it's hard. Reach out to me. Tell me if you're crying. I'll send you a virtual tissue. I'm hoping one of these days that I can have a safe space retreat. It's my dream to have a space where a bunch of us can come together and just say, like, I see you, I hear you, I believe you, give me a hug. If that sounds good to you, like, shoot me an email, say, I'm there, girl. I'm at that retreat. But I wanted to share all of that with you today because it was on my heart. And as I mentioned on the episode on Friday, I'm going to actually take a couple weeks off to kind of just sit with this emotional space that I'm in, to be with my family. Last year, my family was separated. Excuse the tears, but I want to show up authentically. Last year, I was with my daughter and my son was in Colorado with his grandparents for Christmas. That's what we had to do in order to be safe, in order for everyone to be okay. And this year we are all together. And I'm so grateful that I get to spend this time with both of my kids. And I don't want to miss it. So I'm going to take a couple weeks off, be with my kids, feel the grief, have the fun, go ice skating, go sledding, have some good cries, enjoy my children. And I hope that you will give yourself the space to do that as well. And I will see you again in the new year with new beginnings and new opportunities and a lot of love from my heart to yours. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you. Mwah. And I will talk to you so soon. Merry Christmas, friends.